right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Rain chances ramp up. The weather impact forecast tracking the most likely time for the heavier rain on both Wednesday and Thursday.
Just hours ago, a mother and her young daughter remembered.
It was senseless. Totally senseless.
Tonight, what we're learning about the man accused of intentionally slamming his car into their home. Our top story, keeping the faith in Ferguson. The growing support tonight for a police officer critically injured after protests turned violent.
I'm praying for a miracle.
Prayers continue to pour in tonight for a Ferguson police officer who suffered brain injuries 3 nights ago. Good evening, I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Kelly Jackson. Police say Officer Travis Brown suffered those injuries after a protester attacked him on the 10th anniversary of Michael Brown's death. New tonight, Robert Townsend talked with the officer's pastor and fellow church members.
Kelly, the Ferguson police officer's church family has been praying for Officer Travis Brown ever since they heard he was seriously injured while on the job. And tonight they're holding out hope he will recover. Talk to people at Hopewell Missionary Baptist Church in North St. Louis, and they light up with a glow for one special guy, Ferguson police officer Travis Brown.
TJ is an outgoing person.
I've known TJ from a teenager to full manhood and all of his career. Very compassionate, a great father.
Everyone at Hopewell calls the beloved father of 5 and 8-year-old daughters TJ. His proud pastor says TJ has been a dedicated deacon for more than 10 years and an active member for more than 20.
Well, the TJ I know is very disciplined. He's been a disciplined athlete. He had a scholarship to a college in Illinois. He's a very small stature, but he's very tough.
Tutoring the kids, being a leader.
Now his church is praying for their true leader, whom they say has a huge heart. Police say Elijah Gant rushed the 36-year-old Ferguson police officer and knocked him down during a protest. Brown suffered a severe head injury and remains in a coma.
I've always known him as being quite courageous.
You think he'll get through this?
Oh, he will, I believe.
I can't believe it's TJ. I'm praying for a miracle. I'm praying for a blessing. I'm praying for hope. I'm praying for him to just come back to us.
Gant is charged with assault, resisting arrest, and property damage. Now his bond is set for $500,000. He goes to court on Monday. Tonight he's sitting in jail. 4 others also facing charges. Tomorrow, Ferguson police will release more information about this case during a news conference.
A GoFundMe page has been set up to help Officer Brown and his family with mounting medical bills and other expenses. We have a link in the As Seen on TV section at KSTK.com.
Tonight, family and friends gather to honor a woman and her young daughter killed when a car crashed through their Belleville home. Police believe the driver did it on purpose. Annie Krall is live outside the Belleville Police Department with more on what we know about the suspect in custody. Annie.
Police say Matthew Thomas intentionally drove into the front of a house, causing a major fire. The family of the victims tell us they've had problems with Thomas in the past. On Monday night, dozens of people gathered for a balloon release on South 8th Street. Siobhan Green and her 4-year-old daughter Toriana were killed Sunday morning after Belleville police say a car intentionally drove through their home.
Upon arrival, officers encountered and Belleville Fire Department encountered flames, heavy smoke coming from the residence.
Green's mother, Shelby Jackson, says it still doesn't feel real that her daughter and her granddaughter are gone.
It's gas in that car, so it's going to ignite. So he set fire to the house. He pinned them into the car because they was on the couch. Siobhan was holding Toriana.
We spoke with Green's dad, Maurice Green, only hours before the balloons went flying.
My daughter was a simple victim of a mentally challenged individual. But we want to wait till the police find out what was the motive behind all this.
Police identified the suspect as Matthew Thomas. According to Green's father, he was a neighbor who had bothered the family before. Police were called to the home this weekend. As Jackson says, Thomas banged on the door for people to come out.
This person had some kind of issues, infatuated with my daughter. And I guess when he seen this other person with my daughter, couldn't take it.
However, at the time, Green told police not to take him in for psychiatric treatment. Then He crashed into the house. Jackson's 10-year-old grandson called her from inside, saying the house was on fire.
I said, where are both of them? Where is Siobhan? Where is Toriana? He said, they upstairs asleep. I said, why she's not answering the phone? It's not like her.
The boy escaped.
He says, Granny, I'm 10 years old. I shouldn't even be going through this. I can't even call my mama to check on her anymore. I can't play with my sister anymore.
The family of that 10-year-old grandson tell us he's doing as well as he can be. He's staying with his grandma for now. Meanwhile, Thomas is still in police custody, and he has yet to be charged. Reporting live in Belleville, Annie Krall, 5 on your side.
A foggy and damp night in St. Louis. We will be getting a short break from the rain. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell is tracking our next chances in his weather impact forecast.
You know, we're going to have several chances going through the next several days to get wet around St. Louis. But overnight tonight, it's just kind of lingering drizzle, misty and murky. But look at some of the rainfall totals from earlier today. Union, almost 0.8 of an inch. Over to Waterloo, you had about 1/3 of an inch there, a little over 1/4 of an inch. Most of us had light amounts, but there were some pockets just to the south and southwest of St. Louis where it was a little more impressive. Now, that first area moving out. The second area, right now, it's still way back to the west. So that puts us kind of in this lull between systems. And that means we're stuck with these low clouds. We're stuck with some patches of drizzle. There is some fog out there, but the thicker fog is going to be over parts of mid-Missouri and north central Missouri, just to our north and west out of our area. Don't expect to see much in the way of sunshine tomorrow, though. We may have a little patchy drizzle early in the morning, but most of tomorrow for most of us will be dry. It'll be southwest of St. Louis where we'll pick up that rain chance tomorrow. And then Wednesday into Thursday, we're spreading more rain opportunities into St. Louis. More on that in just a few minutes, Kelly.
All right, see you then, Scott. A scare tonight for some visitors at the Gateway Arch. They were stuck on the North Tram for nearly 2 hours on their way to the top. The National Park Service says the tram stopped about 100 feet from the ground. The St. Louis Fire Department was called to help safely get all of the riders out. No one was hurt. Maintenance crews are still working to figure out what caused the tram to stop.
The tram system has been operational since 1967, so obviously we are doing constant repairs on the cables on the cars, but it's the original system that was designed by Dick Bowser in 1967.
The North Tram is closed until further notice. The South Tram is still in operation. 1 week from today, students in St. Louis public schools will head back to class amid uncertainty on school leadership and transportation.
Tonight, the unions supporting district faculty and staff are speaking out. This comes ahead of tomorrow night's school board meeting, the first since the superintendent was placed on leave. 5 on your side's Laura Barczewski spoke to a union representative this afternoon. Laura?
Mike and Kelly, all of the unions that support SLPS faculty and staff released a joint statement today saying they're committed to working together for the good of the district.
These 5 unions represent thousands of workers in St. Louis public schools, and they wanted to make it clear to families they're focused on the students' success.
We are laser focused on the opening of school first. And number 2, we want this whole due process for the superintendent to work out.
SLPS Superintendent Keisha Scarlett was placed on administrative leave last month pending an investigation, and Millicent Borshade was named interim superintendent. In her previous district, Borshade received a vote of no confidence from the teachers union, but Byron Clemens with the American Federation of Teachers, Local 420, says they do have confidence in Borshade.
She's there on an interim basis, but she's run the day-to-day operations and will continue to run them. I can't say it'll be seamless, but we always have glitches at the beginning of the school year, but I feel confident that we're going to do well, and so do our other union leadership folks.
Clemens says as they get closer and closer to opening classroom doors, things seem to get incrementally better, including glitches in payroll that affected 12-month employees.
We have rectified it. Everybody's gotten every raise, and all these unions are looking forward to those same issues.
He says the unions have received updates about the transportation issue, and the district has secured about 20 more buses to transport students. In addition, AFT has solidified before and after care programs.
Before and after care really is a relief valve for parents and the transportation issues. If we have any glitches, this will help, particularly for the younger kids.
The St. Louis Public School Board is scheduled to meet tomorrow at 6:30, and a rally is actually planned for the same time right here outside the building. Reporting live downtown, Laura Barcheski, 5 on your side.
New tonight, Rosati Kane Academy is now searching for a new school president just 1 week before classes start. The school announced today that Dr. Maggie Sullivan is stepping away from her role. This comes nearly 2 years after the Archdiocese announced the school would close. A campaign to save the school raised enough money to keep it open as an independent Catholic school.
Michael Brown Sr. is keeping his son's memory alive by supporting local families. He and other community leaders spoke today at a Day of Action event hosted by the Deaconess Foundation, addressing problems affecting young people of color. Parents raised concerns over their children being impacted by school suspensions and detention centers.
These systems historically are rooted in racism and oppression. And that means that the community must watch, the community must look, the community must be present to make sure that those children are being treated fairly and that the conditions in which they are existing are just and fair.
Today's events also included prayer and self-defense training for faith leaders. And we continue to follow Ferguson's healing journey in our new special, Race, Listen, Learn, Live, Voices of Ferguson. You can see the town's journey here on Thursday, August 22nd at 7 p.m.
A new twist tonight in a battle over bronze. The latest ruling not sticking with Team USA. Teaching cursive in the classroom.
I feel like it's a lost skill that's going away.
Technology could be the handwriting on the wall. Tonight, a look at the impact on the next generation.
See that go away, I think there could be factors that we don't think of now in the future.
Hot and humid weather is trying to work our way. Why it's having trouble making it here, and the amount of rain some of us may see as a result.